good morning. Welcome back to SBJ Weekend Review. I'm Keagan Holsey. To my left is Chad Holsey, who's on his phone. How we doing, Chad?
Fantastic. Good morning, everybody.
That's all you got?
Well, I'm just trying to figure out what we're doing. So
sent Dad a few of the comments that we forgot to read the past couple weeks. So that's what he's looking over right now. But starting off the day, just left the gym. It's freezing.
32 degrees, I think, when I pulled into the church.
Yeah, a little rough.
It's a great weather. Great weather. I love it. So how sore are you from? So Keagan has just started working out at the gym, pumping some iron. He started on Thursday, I think, Wednesday or Thursday. And so tell us about how your muscles feel. How you feeling?
Good. Just hurting. I almost fell trying to get off the toilet the other day. My whole body's hurting right now. Right now my shoulders are, I can already tell those are going to be messed up. Had Hank standing over me telling me what to do, although he didn't do anything the whole time we were there.
Yeah, so
I'm sitting there working out while Hank and Dad are having a full conversation right in front of my face.
Well, so we were working out our mental capacity this morning and not so much our physical capacity. And so, but if you want to get stronger, do what Hank says. I promise you, he'll get you stronger for sure.
Yeah, it wasn't fun.
It wasn't fun. Nope. Shoulders and that's the thing is some people think with shoulders I need to do heavy weights. Nope. You can do really, really light weight with shoulders and get some really good gains and hurt and burn pretty bad. So it's really good. So, but it's good. Yeah. No. It's good to see you in the gym. The gym was busy this morning, man.
Well, the past couple of times I've been in the gym, I'm shocked at how many of our church people are in there.
Well, so when we started, it was just me and Hank, right? And so, and then Terry Moss. And then over the years, we've invited people to church, talked to people in church. In fact, we invited a guy to church this morning. So I think that's part of, practice what you preach, right? Live out your faith where you're at and invite people to come. And one of the places I am in contact with people who may not come to church is at the gym every day. And so that would be one of my outlets or one of my places where I would invite, and Hank invites, and Brett invites. And so we've got a good crew that's coming from the gym that comes to church, and I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah.
I think it's great. But it's interesting, a lot of people go, why invited and they never came? Well, some of these people that we invited 6 or 7 years ago, and we've been inviting them, and they're just now coming. So sometimes it's the invite, but then they watch your life and see how you live and see who you are, and then may or may not come based off that. And so it's a continual being a light. And, I was talking about the moon Sunday in our Sunday school, and the idea of how we reflect the sun. And spiritually speaking, as a Christian, we're supposed to reflect Jesus Christ, the Son of God. And I think if we do that, maybe we'll reach some. That's what Paul says. I become all things to all men so that I may reach some, knowing that we're not going to reach everybody, but we should be living a life that hopefully we can reach some. So
yeah, that's good.
Are you eating a bowl of mayonnaise or what? That looks disgusting.
It's protein yogurt.
Ugh, it looks disgusting.
I found out if I do the oatmeal first and then put the yogurt in the same bowl, I get some of the oatmeal scraps with my yogurt. And that's pretty good.
That's gross. Yeah, that's the reason why I don't think I'm ever going to be like totally ripped and totally skinny, because I am not willing to eat that. I'm not. I'm not going to eat that.
Good.
But it looks like mayonnaise.
The only thing I don't like about it is it leaves like a film in my mouth.
Yep. See, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
Also, what is yogurt?
You're asking the wrong person. I have no idea.
Is it made from milk?
Yeah, I don't know enough about it, but I just know it doesn't look like something I want to put in my mouth.
Well, it definitely, when you take it out the fridge and it's got that water on top of it, that's pretty gross looking. But it tastes good. I don't have to prep nothing, and I get a ton of protein from it.
Which is what you're trying to do. You're trying to bulk and trying to get bigger. Me, I want to get smaller, and the only thing I know to do is just stop eating, and then that sounds great if I have a full belly. But when my belly's empty, that doesn't sound so great.
I'm trying to do 4,000 good calories every day.
Good calories. And I guess there's good calories and bad calories, right? Ugh. I'm trying to do less than 2,000 calories, and I don't care what kind of calories they are. So is that probably bad?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not good at this.
I'm finding out there's good and bad fats.
Really? Oh.
Apparently, there's fats that I'm supposed to be eating, but fats I'm not. For what I'm
I
trying
would
to
call
do.
what I am as a good fat.
But yeah, well, all right. Hey,
That was funny. I don't care what
we had a good Sunday. A lot of people in Sunday school.
Man, we were busting. It was good. It was a good Sunday. Well, let's back up and let's do Wednesday night. Let's do Wednesday night first.
I don't even remember Wednesday night.
Yeah, you forgot already.
We're in a series called the Jesus Filter.
Oh, nice.
This week we looked at how Jesus handled interruptions, and focus on the story of the guys that tore up the roof and lowered their homeboy in down there and interrupted Jesus' teaching because they had a need and saw Jesus important, and he stopped what he was doing. And, well, I mean, you say he didn't really get interrupted because he kept, instead of teaching about the power of God, he just started demonstrating it, which I think further proves the point. But then we also highlighted how he goes out of his way to say your sins are forgiven, which for the Pharisees there, that's a big deal because only God can forgive sins.
Yeah.
And so he's making a statement there. And so we kind of just went through that story and saw how, when we have interruptions in our life or something that seems inconvenient, we tend to shut it down. We're kind of highlighting the idea of looking at these interruptions that may be inconvenient to us as what could be a kingdom opportunity, something that God's placed in our path. Although it wasn't planned, now there's an opportunity and we can have a good perspective on it and have good come from it, or a bad perspective and have bad come from it. And there's a word, I forgot the word we used, but there's, what I was reading when I was studying is there's two words used for time in the New Testament, and one is chronos, I think, which is pretty obvious, like chronological order. It's your calendar, your watch, stuff like that, stuff you're expecting to happen. And then there's the other word, I forgot what it was. I want to say it's like kairos or something like that, and that's things that are unexpected but God appointed, things that we don't have planned but God puts in our path, because He's got our plan figured out a whole lot better than we do. And so having an open mind with these interruptions that pop up in our paths, and looking at it as a kingdom opportunity instead of something that's inconvenient to you, and messing up your day. So.
Well, and I think for me, and maybe for some other folks that are task-oriented, when you're in the middle of a task, this is what you're doing, this is what I'm trying to accomplish, that the interruptions really, if we're not careful, I wonder because sometimes I cannot be careful with it, and then you wonder if I miss out on some things that God had really cool planned for me. But because I am task oriented, and once I'm set on a task, I want to accomplish and finish that task before I move on to another task. And then the interruption of it is simply keeping me from ending that or finishing that task. And sometimes in God's timetable, that is the task.
Yeah.
But
well, even going back to the gym, like someone walking up trying to start a conversation with you, it's like interrupting your workout, and you're like, gosh, I don't want to talk to this guy. But then you end up there's a door that opens up for you to invite them to church, and it's like, okay, well then this is something that God placed in my path for a reason, and I'm all being a sour butt about it. Yeah.
Well, and that happens, that does happen at the gym from time to time. You'll see as we go. And but yeah, I think we got to make time for all of that, and know that sometimes the delays that we think are delays are actually God appointed moments and really good times. So I think that's good. That's a good study. I mean, and if those students can learn that early, man, what a huge impact, because that's something that even adults we miss out on because we're so busy in our day-to-day and things that have to get done versus spending that time with God and doing the things that should be more important and a better focus. So,
well, that's what the series is all about, is looking at Jesus' life and how he handled certain situations, and how do we apply the same filter that Jesus had for every circumstance to our own lives and our own walks.
Yeah.
And so it's been really good. I'm enjoying it. We're in the book of Mark, I think, for that, going through Jesus' life, which is pretty good. And then Sunday mornings we're in Luke. So
nice.
Sure, eventually we'll start overlapping a little bit.
Yes, probably. So how'd your activity go Saturday?
It was great. Had a lot of people here. I want to say around 15, I think. I don't know if you want to know for sure, go look at our Instagram. You can see the pictures I posted on there. I forgot to post them on Facebook too, so I'll do that after this. But we did cereal movie night. We watched. I was shocked. John knew the movie I played and was quoting it a lot as it was happening, which was funny because I thought most of these kids aren't going to know this movie. It was one of my favorite movies growing up. Me and my cousin quoted all the time, and I initially was like, yeah, I'm going to give you all 3 options. You're going to vote on it. But when they all got there, I was like, all right, here's what we're watching. It's like, this is what we're doing.
I have determined.
Last time we did this, I bought way too many jugs of milk. We had a ton left over. So I had that nailed this year. Everybody brought their cereal. It was a wreck upstairs after we're done. Where John was sitting, the mud from his boots were all right there. And
nice.
The cereal that he spilt was right there. But if you look at our Instagram pictures, you can see Haley's, I think it's her right leg, is soaked because she spilt an entire bowl of milk onto her leg. So if you want to go check that out, it's pretty funny.
Maybe some people need some tables to eat at.
So a lot of messes, but it was fun. We had a good time, watched the movie, and then after we were done, some of the kids were like, hey, we still got like 15, 20 minutes before our parents show up. Can we go outside and play Gaga? And normally I would be all over that. Sure, let's go have fun. But it was freezing outside, and I knew if I told them they can go play Gaga that I would have to go out there too. And I wasn't willing to do that. And so I moved away everything that could break in the front foyer here. We played Gaga ball in the lobby right
there
here.
You go.
And it was a lot of fun. We had a blast.
Well, sometimes you have to adjust due to the weather. But I love that they want to use the Gaga pit. So that's awesome. Because sometimes I feel like, man, we spend a lot of money on that thing and nobody uses it.
The teens love it. They're always looking for a reason to go play Gaga.
Oh, that's good. Good. Oh, I'm glad because, we spent some money on that. So I won't, if we spent money on it, I want people to use it. So
but we played for a while out here. It was really fun. Of course, there's always somebody who either didn't tell their parents what time to pick them up.
Always.
Or when we were done, they didn't shoot them a text.
Always.
And so after everybody had been picked up, we still had a few still here. And so we just kind of kept playing and hanging out. Scotty came and talked for a while. But it was a good time. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, Scotty. I love old Scotty. Well, on Wednesday nights, we're doing – whoa, that whole thing just fell apart. Wow. On Wednesday nights, we're doing Joseph. And we talked about how poor Joseph did everything right. He resisted temptation, resisted sin, did what he was supposed to do, honored God, honored his master, and then now he's in jail. So
there you go.
So that's what we talked about. Sometimes just because you do right doesn't mean, it's going to work out exactly like you think it should. Now, God definitely has a plan, and God's working that plan. But, Joseph didn't know that. So it would have been real easy for Joseph to get discouraged, for Joseph to get down, for Joseph just to quit. But he didn't. He honored God. He honored his master. He did what he was supposed to do when he was supposed to do it. Learned the culture, the language, all that stuff. And what we find is in Potiphar's house, he was over everything. He knew everything. He knew everything that happened. He knew everything that was going on. He said the only thing that had been kept from him, from his master, was his wife. That was it. Everything else. He knew. In fact, he knew stuff that even his master didn't know. I mean, so that's a crazy thing to think that there's things that Potiphar didn't even know that Joseph was in charge of. What an incredible deal. And all because I think he had the right attitude, the right spirit, a willingness to work hard, a willingness to adjust, to adapt, and then see that God was with him. And that was one of the really cool things that you read in there. And Joseph went down to Egypt, and God was with him. Well, what a great statement, and what a great thought is wherever you go, no matter what's going on, no matter what's taking place, God goes with you. And so sometimes you feel like you're all alone. Sometimes you feel like, things are too hard or whatever. But then God's with you. He's there to help you through those difficult times. And the great thing is, one of the things we need to remember, just because God's with you doesn't mean he's going to deliver you from all the heartache or from all the pain, but he's going to go with you through it, and so that's the guarantee that no matter where you go, what you're going through, he's going to be there. So Wednesday night was good. We have a few more guys that have came, so our numbers were up a little bit, which was good, and I think all in all, everything was good. I think we had 103, which is fantastic for a Wednesday night. Yeah. I love that. I even told Andy, he said, man, you're going to be happy. We had 103 again. I said, now I want 110. He goes, good grief, Keagan, you're never happy. So, but I'm excited, and I think that's good. I think Wednesday nights are going fantastic. And if you don't come to Wednesday nights, man, we encourage y'all to come. Just a really good time of fellowship. We eat and we talk and fellowship, and then kids and teens, and Financial Peace University starts at 6:30, and then 7 o'clock men and ladies Bible study, and just, man, really, really good. And then we had 7 or 8 kids come on the bus this week, which is good. We're excited about that. That little group is starting to grow back up, and just as we get them all grown and the number really, really big, we'll end for summer. So that's what happened last year. So, I mean, but that's okay. That's part of what we're doing. And but the really cool thing was the other night on the bus, those kids started singing, oh, man, what's that song?
Praise?
No, that one, I'm not looking
Goodbye
at,
Yesterday.
Yeah, Goodbye Yesterday. They started singing Goodbye Yesterday on the bus, and I was like, that is awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah,
that is awesome. Cool. Yeah, that is awesome. So great that they love that. They're singing the songs, and so yeah, no, awesome. So yeah, really, really good. Wednesday night was good. So, and then Sunday, we headed into Sunday. How'd Sunday school go?
It was good. And it's funny because I made a joke about this morning in the gym, but we were going through Sermon on the Plain, which I didn't know. I somehow didn't know that was what that was called in Luke. I just thought it was, since they're the similar themes, I thought they're both just Sermon on the Mount, and that's just what they're both called. But Sermon on the Mount specifically talking about Matthew, Sermon on the Plains in Luke. So we went through that and kind of the 5 principles or 5 major themes that Jesus was trying to give across there, and broke those down. And we're moving pretty quickly through Luke. But yeah, I didn't know. Never heard Sermon on the Plain as a term before. Yeah. So that was all new to me.
Yeah.
So that was something I was learning this week too. Nice. Yeah, we broke down Sermon on the Plain. It was really good. And then I'm trying to think. We've started playing ping pong upstairs, and I'm like challenging everybody, trying to get someone who can beat me, and I'm still undefeated.
Wow.
I went 4-0 this past Sunday.
Well, I'll have to sneak up there and.
You know who's shockingly really good? Jordan Lingerfeld.
I believe that.
He's pretty dang good.
I believe that.
And John's pretty solid too. But I beat Tucker.
John Kinsey's girlfriend?
Kinsey's boyfriend.
That's what I said.
This past Sunday I beat John, Aiden, Tucker, and Jordan. And they were all very close games. They're all very good players.
But not good enough.
Just not at my level, and that's understandable. Here's the reason why, and of course, it's hard with those paddles because those paddles you can't get any spin on them.
Terrible.
But when I was living in Holly Springs, me and Jonah played ping pong for hours every single night for
so what happened to those good paddles?
A year straight.
I know where one is.
Where?
I'm not telling you.
Well, it's mine.
No.
The blue one? Shh. I paid for that. So where's that?
I'm just telling you I know where one is.
Is it here or at the house?
It's at the house, but I don't think it's blue.
Okay, well, one of them, I had a really nice, because when me and Jonah were playing every night and it started getting heated, I bought a very expensive paddle because I was like, this is what's going to take my game to the next level.
Right. It's probably down there in the basement somewhere.
And all it did was make it to where I'm trying to do good spin over and over again. I'm just hitting it too hard and it goes way too far. But, yeah, so pretty fun. Sunday school's got a good number.
Yeah, 23.
Seemed to be a backup. It always dies off and then comes back in the seasons and stuff. So we're recovering back to where we were.
Yeah, I think it's funny how you go through certain times a year and your numbers trickle off. And I think a lot of it has to do with people traveling. Of course, I think we also have a lot of people that have been sick lately. So, it was good. This Sunday, our numbers were back up. Several people that have been gone because they were sick were here. But even then, I was sitting there counting, and there were still a handful of people that weren't here this week, and so of our regulars. And so we see that the Lord's really, really blessing. We see in Sunday school, we had 111 in Sunday school, which is a fantastic number for Shiloh. And so pretty excited about that. And our Sunday school went really well. We were really challenged and dealt with the question is, why are we here? He said, well, what does that mean? Well, as a Christian, I think sometimes in life you just get busy doing life. But are we fulfilling God's purpose? Are we fulfilling the Great Commission? Are we doing anything positive in our community? So we talked for a while of what the things we do. We talked about trunk or treat, we talked about Easter eggs, and we talked about live nativity, and we talked about movie in the park, and we talked about those kind of things, right? And And then we were just discussed, what are some other things we do. We talked about CR, Celebrate Recovery, that we do here on Tuesday nights. But could we do more? Of course, the answer is yes. So then the question was, what are some things we could do? And so this week they're kind of thinking about that and talking about that. But then afterwards, I had a couple of individuals that come up and said, so what about movie night? And I said, well, our problem with movie night, we don't have a screen and an inflatable screen. And I had 2 individuals that said, you order it, I'll pay for it.
Wow.
Yeah, no, crazy. Yeah, that was awesome. So we'll be doing a movie night as soon as it gets warm again down there in the park, which is always fun. And but yeah, I had 2 people come up and go, hey, I'll buy that movie screen. And so awesome, let's buy a movie screen.
That's awesome because that outreach was huge.
Yeah,
every time we did a movie, there was people
that was good.
all over the place.
Well, and now that we have the popcorn and the cotton candy and the I think the next thing we need to do is get a snow cone machine, I guess. But we do cotton candy, we do popcorn, we do hot dogs, and do all that for free, and then do a free movie night. Man, you just get a lot of folks that'll come out and want to be a part of that. And so, and the good thing is, you reach people that don't normally. And what we could do this year is do like slides and information about our church. Here's the activities, here's the stuff that's coming up, and then that way while they're sitting there waiting for the movie to start, they can watch those slides run, and I think that'd be really awesome.
We could film like before a movie starts, it's like all the ads and stuff.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Film a bunch of clips.
It would be awesome. I think it'd be great.
It.
Like 10 minutes before the movie starts, hits that thing and let that thing roll.
I want to get me and the teens together, and we film like a fake trailer for a movie that just promotes our youth group.
I think that's what I'm saying. It'd be really cool to get creative and do something really cool for that first, say, 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah, I think it'd be awesome. Maybe we get Carson back in town and have him direct something for us.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, no, man. I think it'd be a lot of fun to do stuff like that. But then, we can promote, whatever we got coming up. VBS would be a good thing to promote, and a few other things. So I think
you could do them all in trailer format.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. It'd be really, really cool. And I think people get a kick out of it.
Let me sit down. I'm gonna sit down and start writing stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
For all the different things we have, because that'd be a really fun.
I think it'll be good. And I think it'll be a good way to promote VBS. I think it'll be a good way to promote maybe even if we can get warm enough and do it before Easter, promote our Easter weekend.
Yeah.
Because we have a big Easter weekend.
I'll get busy on some
coming
scripts.
Up. And so let's think about it. And I think that'll be good. Get busy on that. So how exciting. And it's really exciting when people go, oh, we need that? Okay, I'll take care of that. I love that. I love that our people are like, because I told them, I said, we have everything but the screen. I said, we have the projector, we have the sound system. We have everything we need. We just don't have the screen. And 2 individuals came up separately and went, I'll take care of that. Perfect.
That's how stuff happens. People being involved. Good. You hand me your phone real quick.
God's really, really good.
So I'm going to forget we ever had this conversation, so I want to make sure
You're going to send you something?
Yeah.
No, that's smart.
And I'm excited about that.
I'm really bad about having a conversation and then completely, totally, especially on Sunday, because I get, you're busy running around doing 10 or 15 different things, and someone says, hey, blah, 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 and you're like, okay, well, I'm not going to remember that.
Not the time.
And I'm not trying to be rude. I just know me, and I just know that, hey, man, why don't you write a note and throw it on my desk, and that'll probably work better for me. So anyhow, Sunday school went really, really well, and we see that our people really want to do things. I even had a lady go, because one of the things we talked about is that me as a pastor, I can't do everything. So people come up with these ideas, but then they expect me to pull them off and make them happen. And then I had a lady come up and goes, hey, when people come up with you with ideas, that kind of stuff, share it with us, let us do it. And then that way that whole burden doesn't fall on you. And I'm like, I love that. I think that's what we should be doing as a church, right? And so
and as we grow and get to where we can have staff people in place to kind of bear some of that burden too, that would take a lot off of your plate as well.
Right. Well, and so I don't know. I just think it's awesome that we have church members that are like, dude, I'm in. Let's go.
Yeah.
Point me in the right direction. So I think that's awesome. So, Sunday school went really well. In fact, I'm even leaning towards not moving on to the next lesson, but camping out there next week and spend some more time just thinking about what does that look like? What about the future? What are some things we can do? And I may do. I haven't decided yet, but I think our people were like, well, let's do it. Let's have an impact in our community. What can we do to have an impact in our community? And so I think they're pretty jazzed about it. So
Sweet, yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome. So.
Well, that was your Sunday school, not Wednesday night. That was
Sunday school. Yeah, Wednesday night was Joseph.
Yeah.
Sunday school Wednesday night. All good, all doing good. I've got a good group.
Are you still in the auditorium?
Yeah, Sunday school we had both groups were in the auditorium. So Financial Peace University needed a TV. So I told them, why don't y'all go into my classroom? So they're in my Sunday school room or my Wednesday night class. So we've moved to the auditorium. But our men like it better because they can spread out and they don't have to sit right next to each other. And so I think that's a bonus. But then we also had some folks that weren't coming to Sunday school because it was just so crowded. So now that we've moved back to the auditorium, my numbers are going back up. So we had 29 Sunday.
It's funny how many people, once it starts getting packed, they just, I'll just go home.
Not doing it. And I'll see it at main service, but I'm not coming to Sunday school. But we see that our numbers in Sunday school are headed up. They're heading in a good direction. So like I said, I had 29, which is fantastic. We've been around 22, 23. And now we're up to 29 really quick.
Good
no, it's fantastic. Oh, yeah. So I would have never moved us to that little room, or I'd have knocked that wall down if I'd have known it was going to stifle our growth. I just had no idea. And then, start talking to people and listen to people's thoughts. And like, okay, yeah, no, but we can go someplace where we can grow. Definitely. So, and then now what's happened is Vince and Mickey's class has moved to that classroom so they could have more space. Because they had filled up their Sunday school room. And I said, you have no space to grow. And Mickey goes, I haven't really thought about it, but you're right. So now they've moved to my class, or Vince. Maybe it was Vince I was talking to. Either way, they realized, you're right. We need to move someplace where we can see the growth happen. So, which is good. I mean, all that's positive. That's good stuff. So we may be knocking down some walls pretty soon and go from 4 rooms to 2 rooms just so we can make some more space. Because we need bigger Sunday school classrooms.
So if you're looking at the gym door, okay, how about this? The classroom immediately to the right of the Coke machine, does that room get used at all?
Yes, the 5th and 6th grade use it.
On Sunday mornings or Wednesday nights, or both?
Both, I think.
Gotcha.
I think both, yeah.
Sweet. Wow.
Yeah, and so that room probably needs to, so we could knock that room down and let 5th and 6th grade have both rooms, or leave them like they are, and 5th and 6th grade stay where they're at. But 5th and 6th grade, dude, they had 7 in there this week. One of the Chadwick kids, man, he had like 4 or 5 kids with him. I was like, golly, man, you got a whole crew.
Invite people.
Yeah, no, that's how you grow a church, right? Invite people to come. And then, but then that Sunday school room next to my Sunday school room, my old Sunday school room, is empty. So we should have knocked down that wall. I look back and think, man, we probably should have knocked down that wall.
We were ready to.
I know. Vince was ready to, man. He was in there ready to go. So, so it was one of those things where let's do it. And then I was like, let's don't do it, because some people were like, well, man, once you tear down the wall, then what? And I'm like, because you can always tear down the wall. And, but yeah, I think we may need to tear down a wall.
I'm all about tearing stuff down.
Yeah, man, I can tear stuff up.
That'd be a blast.
That. Yeah, it's one of the deals.
Well, and the main service was great. Music was awesome. We had a full stage, full band.
Oh, I love it.
Had Rick here shredding.
Yeah, Rick was on the guitar.
Had Miss Cater ripping.
Yeah, man. Well, so and that's the deal. It was such a good blend, and what I love, and I think Brandy did a really good job. It was everybody, and it was really good. And then she got to that special where it was just the piano. And I love having that option and I love that our guys were cool with that. Hey, so we're just doing piano for this song, or we're just doing guitars for the song, or this guitar is going to lead and then the piano is going to come in, or then the drums are. And I love the creativity with all those people that we have that allows us to, allows our creativity, as far as creative as Brandy wants to get, but that allows that creativity to grow wild. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for us to do some really, really, really cool things. And even Tony in the gym said, he goes, man, and then we're talking about how good the music was. He goes, and then that lady, Miss Cater, just playing the piano, and everybody else dropped out. He was like, man, that was awesome.
He also threw in a jab there.
He did throw in a jab, yes, but that's Tony.
He said she was a whole lot better than that drummer.
Yeah, that's a funny, sarcastic attempt at humor.
He has never gone after me like he did today in the gym. I don't know if it's because you and Hank were in there, but he was grilling me all day.
You got to watch people once they start getting familiar with you. They may become too familiar. You know what I mean? You're like, man, I think we're getting too close.
Yeah, I mean, the past week he was just so friendly, so nice. Would be making jokes about how I'm sore. Then today, just laying.
Well, then Sunday he come up and grab your arms.
Yeah, he went to shake my hand and grab the bat because he knew he asked me the day before. He said, "What's the most sore part of you right now?" And I said, "My triceps." And I said, "I can tell they're gonna be worse tomorrow." Well, he comes up, shakes my hand, and grabs the back of my tricep and squeezes as hard as he could.
Well, and here's the deal: for a 71-year-old dude, he is fit and strong.
That dude's so strong.
For 71 years old, holy cow, that guy!
I mean, dude, he came in the gym, stared talking trash.
Yeah, he was just in the mood.
He opened up the door and said, "I've been on a call out there for an hour, and you guys haven't done nothing."
Tony. Yeah, no, Tony's a good dude, man. And but yeah, the services were good. We had 50 in the first service and 161 in the second service. So 200.
What?
Yeah.
160 in the second service? Is that what you said?
161 in the second service. Yeah. So 200 and
is that what we normally run?
Yeah, well, on a good Sunday, yeah, we're getting there. It looked good.
That's crazy.
So 211 and then 111 in Sunday school. So all that was a really good day. And so we talked about ask, seek, knock. A lot of people think that means I can just ask for anything and everything, and God's required to give it to me. And as long as I'm persistent and keep at it, he's going to say yes, and that's where this prosperity gospel has fallen in and come into place. And God said, "Well, no, that's not exactly how that works."
And it's funny that you touched on that because I knocked on prosperity gospel in Sunday school too. And so when you start talking about it, I turned around and looked at Haley and I was smiling because there's no way. Yeah. We always seem to follow each other.
Well, and that happened a lot when I was a youth pastor with Brother Phil and the other pastors I worked for. So, but yeah. A lot of people think, hey, I can name it and claim it, and God's required to give it. And then, but here's what happens. What happens to people's faith when they believe that lie, and then when it doesn't happen the way they think it should happen? Well, then they turn from God. Their whole base of what they believe, their whole spiritual foundation is crumbled because they've built it on sand versus building.
You're worshiping the gifts and not the giver.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it was even what was something I read this morning: the worship of the created and not the creator. Yeah, and so I was like, well, that's pretty good. As I was reading this morning, that we'll worship something that God created instead of worshiping the God that created it, and so I was like, that's pretty good. And so we can be guilty of that, and it's real easy to do that, right? And but we just talked about in the two services, making for sure you're seeking God, but seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. And the Bible says, and then all these things will be added unto you. What's all these things? Well, everything that's necessary, everything that you need. Well, what's necessary and what do you need? The things that further the gospel of Jesus, the thing that further his kingdom, the thing that sheds a light to the world. And if we'll live in that aspect, then he'll provide the food, he'll provide the clothes, he'll provide those things. As long as our prayer and our motive and the things that we're doing are done for the right purpose and for the right reason. But so many times we get that backwards and get that wrong because we can be selfish. We can be very self-absorbed, our ways, our agenda, our stuff, and lose sight of our purpose. And it was really cool that my Sunday school went really well with the main message because the Sunday school was like, why are we here? And then the message was even in our praying, our asking and thinking, we ask the God. And so, but it starts with the correct thinking of who God is. Well, he's my heavenly Father. He's not just my creator because I'm saved, because I've accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. He is also my heavenly Father. And because he's my heavenly Father, he's a heavenly Father that wants to give good gifts. So this type of ask, seek, and knock doesn't apply to lost people. Because they're just simply the created. They're not his child. And so you need to be saved before you can ask, seek, and knock. But the Bible does say he stands at the door and knocks. So if you'll answer that and accept him in, then we see where He comes in and abides with us, and then of course our goal is this idea of I want to be more like Jesus, and that's his desire, is for us to be more like Jesus. So when our heart lines up with his heart, which is for us to be more like Jesus and to be more kingdom minded, then we see that the things we desire and the things that we want become in line with what he wants us to have. And so he's not just a genie up there. And that's, of course, I think that's the way a lot of people treat God. Hey, give me my 3 wishes, and I only need you when things are wrecked or when life is in turmoil or when things aren't good. And that's not the relationship he's looking for at all, and that's not the relationship that he desires. And so anyhow, it was good.
Well, that's similar to what we talked about in Sunday school, is that the true gift, like the true treasure of life, is relationship with God. Not like the stuff that comes with it, not heaven, not any of that. That having a relationship with God is what the real gift is. And we're reading that blessed are those who are poor, it's because they don't have any real gifts, so they can actually grasp that this is the treasure, this is the gift. Yeah. Whereas, rich people, there's other things that's why battling, and there's other things that they can look at as true gifts. Whereas the poor people can grasp easier that God is the treasure. He's the prize.
Well, that's where I think Jesus tells Nicodemus, I think, if I remember correctly, it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich person to be saved. And it's because that rich person, his savior is his finances, is his money, and not God. And so a lot of times that kind of superficial worldly stuff becomes our God, and then we're not able to rely and see God on that because stuff has us, and there's nothing wrong with having stuff. I say this all the time, and I've heard a lot of people say it before. Nothing wrong with having stuff. The problem is when stuff has us, and it's super easy, especially living in America, to be very superficial and be very stuff oriented, and I need this and I need that, and miss out on what God's plans are and what God desires.
Well, not just that, but like how many people are, not just material stuff, but how many people are scared into getting saved because, someone's up screaming about hell. And they're like, well, I want to go to heaven, so they get saved, but no real relationship ever starts.
Yes.
Because their salvation's only based on, well, I don't want to go to hell.
Fire insurance.
Yeah. And so a lot of dangers there. And what we with reading through Sermon on the Plain is that God is the treasure, and you should be pursuing a relationship with God actively, not just a get out of hell free card.
Yeah. Well, and you wonder how many people, you think, so if you start a relationship that way, but then it develops, but I wonder how many relationships how many people have started that relationship, but then it has never grown from that. I just wanted to get out. I just don't want to go to hell.
Salvation isn't the peak of your walk with God.
No, it's just the starting. It's like the beginning of the race.
So
it's like when you're about to run a race and they shoot the gun. That's what salvation is. Yeah. It's just the start.
There you go.
And now you're on that race, that road to sanctification.
The Bible metaphors you as a baby at the point of salvation, being fed spiritual milk. You're steady growth.
Yeah.
Never stop. Exponential. I think that's the right word. I don't know.
Exponential sounds good.
Exponential growth.
Yeah.
Just keeps going.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yep.
Dang, look at me go.
Well, it doesn't have to. And so that's the thing I think where a lot of people mess up is they think I've got to go 100,000 miles in one day when maybe we should just go 100,000 miles in a month or a year or 2 years. I even tell people about that when it comes to reading their Bible. I'm going to read through the Bible in a year. Well, if you've never done that, just know that that's harder than you think it is.
Like with my shoulder workout today.
Yeah, it's harder than you think it is.
Hank gave me way too heavy of weights, and I'm just throwing around looking like a crazy person. He said, all right, let's try these ones first.
Yeah.
And I could get the form, get that down.
Yeah, got to
start small.
Something you can tackle.
Give yourself realistic goals.
Well, and that's the thing. Some people think they create such crazy, unrealistic goals. and
especially with reading. That's like the biggest, like people be like, all right, well, I'm going to read the whole book of Mark today. And then they don't do it. They feel defeated. They're discouraged. And then they're not as willing to go back the next day because they're like, man, I'm just going to mess up again.
Or on the other end of that, they do read through Mark, but they're in such a hurry to get through it,
they're not
trying to accomplish the task that they don't get anything out of it.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the things I got to be very careful with what I'm doing right now, because then it can be, I'm just trying to accomplish the task because I'm task oriented, and that's where I get in trouble. I'm just trying to accomplish the task versus growing and learning and letting it, mature me and that sort of deal. So yeah, it's one of those deals we got to be super hyper careful of, because then a lot of people go, "Hey, I read my Bible today. I read 4 chapters, but I sped through it so fast."
Well, what'd you take away from it?
Yeah, exactly. Nothing.
Yeah. What's your take? That's my favorite thing to ask people. Like, yeah, I read this today. Well, what was your takeaway?
Yeah, what was your takeaway?
And they go, well, let me think about it. Well, then you didn't process through any of it.
Right. And so part of it is reading God's word, but another part of it, if you're listening, hopefully you're listening, the other part of it is a takeaway. I mean, how I'm reading this and I'm reading this and I'm reading this. Yeah. But are you learning? Are you taking anything away from it? Are you gaining anything?
Got to be some kind of application you pull from it. That's
yeah.
I think it's important to, before you start reading, pray, God, what are you trying to teach me today?
Yeah.
What are you trying to show me right now?
Yeah.
And it's funny to see like the cool things that God does with it. And you're like, man, something will happen in the day, and you're like, well, what I read this morning somehow applies exactly to what I'm going through right now.
Yeah.
And if you've processed it and you're meditating on it throughout the day, now you can actually apply it to what you're going through or stuff like that. But I mean, I could tell you, there was one time me and Dusty ended up, there's something going on, situation, and me and him had both read the exact same passage that morning.
Nice.
And we weren't on any kind of plan. We both just randomly picked that passage separately. And then he texted me and said, hey, I read this morning. Think that'd be an encouragement. I was like, well, I think it's funny. I read the exact same thing this morning.
Oh, wow. That's funny.
So
very cool. Yeah,
that's
cool.
There's so many ways God can work in your life if you'll just let him.
Yeah.
If you're just willing to sit down, read, actually process, take it in, so you can get that application, seeing what God does through that is pretty incredible.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And it's more than just reading. It's growing from it. It's learning from it. It's being obedient to it, letting it soak in, letting it do its thing. And so, who cares if you read through the Bible in a year if you didn't get nothing from it? You know what I mean? What a waste of time. So then a lot of people go, well, then I'm just not going to read the Bible. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, hey, take a minute to absorb. Take a minute to learn from it and grow from it and be a better Christian from it. So, which I think is important. I think it's important. I just started Job. Oh, I love the first couple of chapters of Job because I'm reading the Bible chronological order this year.
Me too.
And so I just started Job and Job chapter 1, 2, and 3. And Job seems to have everything. Went from having everything to having nothing. And
Job's story is just, I feel like it's so long too.
Well, his friends talking. Just stop talking.
Not just his friends, his wife too. Why don't you just curse God and die? It's
but that's all she said. That's all we heard from her though. But then his friends just went on for chapter after chapter after chapter after chapter. And just, and I'll be honest with you. I wasn't excited when Job popped up this morning.
The issue I had in Genesis this year, reading through like the story of Joseph and stuff, and it'll be like they'll say Joseph said this, and it'll go through this long passage, and then it'll say, then the brother went home and told his dad, hey, Joseph said this, and says the exact same thing.
Yes. Just read it.
All over again. I'm like, oh my gosh,
right.
why? And they'll do it like 3 or 4 times.
No, yeah.
And you're like, dude, I've heard it. I get it.
They do it with Jacob, and back when they go back to talk to Jacob or
That's
Israel,
what I'm
and I'm like,
about.
oh my gosh, man, let it go.
That's what I'm talking about.
We got it. We got
just
it.
Over and over, and you're like, oh my gosh.
So another.
Hey, you don't. You can just say. Then he went back and told him what Jacob had told him.
What Jacob had said, yes.
Like, there we go.
So in Daniel does the same thing when it talks about, and when the harps and names all the instruments. When they are played, if you'll bow down, this is the rule. When this is played, and it goes through all these instruments every time, like 4 or 5 times. And I'm like, okay, we got it. We got it. We got it. We got it. When the instruments
just say the instruments previously listed.
Yeah,
who's writing this thing?
What are we doing, Daniel? Come on, man. And but they say every instrument again. I'm like, yeah, we got that the first time through, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness.
But in some cases, like the details are important, like in the book of Mark.
Absolutely.
Because with the book of Mark, you can read through and go, man, this is just testimonies that he's jotting down, and that makes it more believable than just something made up, because I read something like made up stories back then didn't have near as much detail as the book of Mark has.
Oh, really?
He goes over the top with details. He also uses the word immediately a lot.
So what's good about Mark's details is that helps you know that what he's telling you, like so if you're lying and you're not telling the truth, you're going to be pretty vague on the details.
Yeah,
and so that's the beautiful thing about Mark. He's like, oh man, let's get to the details.
This is actual testimonies that we're hearing and taking in. But yeah,
good. So Sunday was good.
A good week here at church.
Good week here. Yeah. No. And then we had the business meeting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey,
good.
I was wondering this. So we voted last night.
Yeah, Sunday night, 6:00.
When did the rest of the people that didn't show up, how do they find out who got voted in, or does they just not care?
Well, I think they do care, and I say this with all love. If they cared, they should have came, and that's a terrible thing to say.
But it's not.
But it's not. I'm just saying. And I get some people couldn't come. Some people had to work. Some people had things going on. I get that. So, and I get, for some people, it's a long ways to go and that kind of stuff. So there's that. But we could announce Sunday morning. But if someone asks, so
I'm just saying, what do you normally do? Do you during Sunday say, hey, by the way, this guy was voted in?
I normally don't say anything, and if somebody asks, I tell them. But other than that,
somebody asks, I'll just say you should have been there.
No, I have done that. So, but it was somebody I felt comfortable I could be cocky with. I think it was somebody like Hank that just said, so how'd the vote go? And I went, well, you should have been there if you wanted to know. But I would never just do that to a normal church member. I only did that because I knew he could take it and not be upset with me,
right?
What I mean? And so I did that to him. But no, the normal process, how we normally do that is if somebody asks, of course we'll tell them. We ain't got nothing to hide. But I'm probably not going to get up and stand up and. It probably wouldn't hurt for me to get up and go, all right, here's our deacons, here's our trustees, here's our church secretary. It probably wouldn't hurt for me to do that one Sunday morning as an announcement, because someone even asked Sunday night in the meeting, so who are our deacons and trustees? So there may be some people that just don't know, and maybe I should take a moment.
If you get a directory, it's all in it, which I guess we need to update directories now.
Directory's now going to be, that page needs to be updated. But no, we're good, and I'm excited about the folks that are coming in. Jeff Wood.
Let's say we can announce it here.
Mike Henry is a trustee. Jeff Wood is a deacon.
Mickey
Carver is going to be our church secretary, and then Christy Heath. She's going to keep hammering away with what she's doing. So we've got 3 new guys, and the same.
Nobody voted you out of
Christy.
Your position.
Nope, I haven't been voted out here lately, and there may be some people that would like to. It'd be curious to do a vote, just to what.
I don't think that's healthy.
What do they call that? They call that
impeachment.
No, it's one of those votes where do you feel like Chad's still doing his job? I can't think of the proper word.
I don't think that'd be a healthy thing for you to
look at. I feel like even if it's one person that thinks that, which I know
one person would wreck my whole.
Well, that's what I'm saying, and I know there's several people that think that. So for those several people to speak up would be probably devastating.
Yeah,
I'd cry,
especially if there's an anonymous. We'll move on. I was going to say it ends with TY. Anonymous, but it ends with TY. Anonymity. Anonymity.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you're talking about Finding Nemo.
That's anemone.
I gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. But anyhow,
I really got to go to the bathroom. I'm trying to hold it in.
Vote of faith. I don't think we should talk about that on here. But we can wrap things up pretty quickly. But anyhow, vote went good. We talked about finances. Finances are good. We talked about the things that happened, how many people were saved and baptized, how many people joined.
I missed that part, I think.
You missed that part. So
I've got counting.
Yeah, you were probably counting votes. And so if you want, I can go grab those numbers real quick. Give me 2 seconds.
Yeah, but hey,
talk about something.
Business meeting's always fun. It's funny because you never know. Like Trent leaned over and said, hey, how long does these normally run? I said, well, it depends how many people have questions. There's some people who they never have a stage to talk in their day-to-day, so they're going to use this as their opportunity to. And then what I like about it is there's a few guys like Mickey Carver who's really funny, and he puts on a show at some of these meetings. And you have a few guys. Usually Mr. Moore's out there cracking jokes. So there's a lot of joking around that goes down, which is always fun. I enjoy that. But a lot of people showed up. I think we had around 40 that came and were a part. Voted. Everybody seemed pretty pleased with what was talked about, and it was just a good
So some
meeting.
numbers we went over that you probably didn't hear. So you'll be glad to know we had 12 baptized.
Nice.
29 people joined.
Really?
Yeah, that's a pretty good
my
number.
gosh.
29 people joined. Average for Sunday school for 2025 was 97.
Huge.
That was the average. Average for worship service for 2025, 167.
That's awesome.
So it's pretty good. Average for Wednesday night, this does not include summer. This is just during the school year. 87%, 87 was the average for, and I think that number is going to go way up this year. And I think that number went up way, like once we started back in August, I think that number's up, which of course drove that number up a little bit. But I'm curious to see what the average is from August to right now. And then summer, we averaged 52 in the summer, which is crazy. I didn't think
so
that number
cool.
was near that high. I didn't realize we had that many folks coming in the summer. So averaging 52, so that's really, really good. And
finance stuff was all good. So thank you to everybody that contributed and made this year happen. It was a great year.
Yeah, and I think since we started the second service, that 167 goes way up.
For sure.
Yeah, so if we were to sit down and crunch the numbers from August till now, the averages for Sunday school and the averages for services, the Lord has really blessed the second service that we're doing, and our numbers are. And so what's really good is 167 is what we're averaging in the second service, and then the first service we're averaging, I would say, about 50.
Yeah.
Is what we're averaging. So we see that our numbers have gone up. I mean, it's just 2025 was a good year. So I'm excited about that. But we've got a good year planned. We've been working on Easter stuff, and we've been working on.
You going to pick up something today?
Yep. And we've been working. Yeah, we got some new lights for our live nativity this year that we're going to purchase today, and it's going to be good. And then it's a family text message that's going off, and I guess it's between Mom and Haley.
So you think they text privately, but
right?
anyways.
You would think, and then we have a men's. We're instead of doing a men's conference this year, we're going to do a men's retreat, and more information on that to come. I got a couple of phone calls.
It's going to be awesome. You're going to want to be there.
Yeah, guys, listen, man, you want to come? We're going to get it on the date. It's a 2-day deal. Come and hang out with us, 2.5-day deal. And, man, I'm going to encourage you. Listen, this is going to be crazy. I'm going to encourage you to take a day off work and come hang out with us. It's going to be that good. So it's going to be a Friday, Saturday type deal. Fishing, shooting, camping.
Crying.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good. And so we're going to have more information coming. We're going to have the dates hopefully by the end of this week. We're going to get it out there, let people know. But man, it's going to be fantastic. So I'm hoping by Wednesday, actually, I have all the details. But it's going to be really, really good. So anyhow, I'm working on the details, but hopefully by Sunday for sure. So anyhow, that's going to be good. So we're looking for a good year and a lot of good things. Easter weekend's going to be bonkers. We're going to do Good Friday service. 6 o'clock on Friday. Then we're going to do the Easter egg hunt Saturday, 10 to noon, which is going to be great. And then Sunday's a crazy day. 7 o'clock, we're going to do sunrise service at Amicola in the parking lot. Then we're going to come back here and eat breakfast. Then at 9:30 is going to be our first service. And then at 11 o'clock will be our second service. So it is going to be an awesome weekend. And I got permission from the men to get invite cards.
Nice.
So we can pass them out and everybody can invite people. So
Sweet.
I'm really excited about that. And then, of course, camp. We're working on camp. Supposed to talk with Brandy this week about VBS. And just got a lot going on, man. So from now until June, July, man, it's stacked, packed with a lot of stuff going on. So come and be a part. Oh, I'm also excited about our homecoming. Man, if you're listening, you've never been to our homecoming, come to our homecoming. We got Jonathan Wilburn that's going to come sing. It's going to be awesome.
J-Dub.
Yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be a great day. We're going to eat some good food. That's February the 8th. That's coming up pretty quick. So a lot happening. And then, of course, our cruise, church cruise. We've got a lot of people going on the church cruise, a lot of good folks. And it's going to be good.
Starting off the year strong.
I'm curious to see some of the different characters and personalities, how they're going to blend and how they're going to mix. So, but other than that, I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a good time. So,
Well, Rick Woods commented on the last two shows, and we've not mention them, so I'm going to go ahead and
Rick
do that
Wood.
now.
Oh, man. Thank you, Rick Wood, for playing with us Sunday, playing that guitar. And it's always good when they're in town. I love when they're in town, and I love when he plays. So, man, it's always good.
He says, great show today. I hope Christy Heath doesn't hear all the trash talk about UGA. Keagan, you better watch out. She might come for you. I would say I'm not scared, but I am scared.
Everybody's scared of Christy.
Luckily, she understands where I'm coming from. For the most part, I've defended myself, and the reason why I have a bad taste in my mouth for Georgia. But then he continued by saying, I also really enjoyed the discussion regarding sin. I personally love Reese's, but I know I shouldn't be eating them. Just a heads up that we'll be there Sunday, January 18th, and we're really looking forward to it. Hey, well, we were looking forward to it as well, and we're glad it happened. We're happy to have you.
Glad y'all came.
Then the last week he said, Andy needs to sponsor the show, put in a plug for his business. And all I got to say is we like that. We're all about it. And if you have a business, we're doing 20 seconds. You pay $1 per second. So if you want me just to say 1 second, I'll quickly say your business name in less than a second, and we'll move on.
Right?
So it's up to you.
I love it. Yeah.
You find out. And if you want me to go on, if you're willing to pay, I'll go 20 minutes straight talking about your business. So
yeah, and all proceeds go to help us get better equipment.
Yeah.
We're using a 20-year-old laptop and
this thing is ancient
microphone. So, and we throw things on a flash drive, and it's great. I mean, top quality stuff going on here, guys.
We're using a free recording software, free editing software. And we're filming with my iPhone. So, and these are $40 mics from Amazon. So, but anyways, last week's episode, some lady named Tracy Holsey, I don't know who that is. Looks like a crazy lady on the profile picture, but let's see. It says, I say I love you several times a day, nerd. Proof that you don't listen.
Well, I must be missing it because I don't think I've heard that in a minute. But maybe she does. Maybe I don't listen. Now that's the problem. I do think I'm deaf in one ear and blind in the other.
It happens.
Yeah.
Then the other comments from you said if you watch, you can see how bad my tongue is burned. It's stupid hot chocolate.
So if you'll watch last week, I burned my tongue drinking hot chocolate, and you watched that whole episode, I am suffering. My tongue is torched. I blew it up. It was awful. I mean, it was a bad deal. It was a bad deal. Man, wow. So if you want to watch that and get a good laugh, just watch me because I am suffering. Yeah, it was kind of.
And if you want to go back on the Facebook Live and watch me during the drum set, I was also suffering during then because my arms were screaming. But it's been a good week. Thank you to everybody that made it happen.
Yes.
Thank you for listening. If you made it this far, leave us a comment. Let us know what you're thinking. Give us something to talk about next week.
Talk to us.
We hope to see you on Wednesday.
See y'all.